trying to make y'all comfortable. For the record, you ain't trying to grow, then it's done for you. For the record, lab on me going all the way. For the record, ain't trying to link, no time to waste. For the record, for the record, yeah. For the record, yeah. For the record, yeah. For the record. Been a little too nice to y'all. Now I gotta up price for y'all. Snake eyes on dice for y'all. Shoulders on ice for y'all. Frozen.
What's going on, guys, and welcome to another video. Today's video we're going to talk about a topic that I've been wanting to talk about for quite some time, but honestly just have not got around to it. But today we are going to be talking about, personally, my biggest mistake that I've realized that I've been making in my early 20s. So, I'm 24 years old, and for the last year, little over a year, I've owned my business known as ZCompany. Now, obviously, it takes a long time to build a successful business and build a brand. And if you don't know what my business is about, well, I race cars and I'm an entrepreneur. I do freelance services, whether it be digital marketing or just smaller video editing jobs or things like that. But the big thing is, I haven't seen the results that I anticipated. So why is that? Well, as I've gone back through and I've kind of audited myself to figure out what I do on a daily basis, a weekly basis, and a monthly basis, there was one thing that stood out to me, and that is consistency. So while I put in the work, as I would say, every day, because I like to work 7 days a week. That's just the way that I am. If I'm not doing something work-related every day, I don't feel productive. So I know I'm putting in the work, but there's still that reason on why those results are not showing. And that's where I go back to the whole consistency thing that I just previously talked about. You see, we all have routines through our day-to-day basis. We all have things that work. We all have things that don't work. But as I look back, say as in high school, I had that routine, right? I had that routine of waking up, eating breakfast, driving to school, going to help sessions for math, going to the weight room, going to practice, going home, doing homework, going to bed, and doing it again all over. Now, as I look in today's life, where life is so much busier and so much more, let's just leave it at that, busier, that consistency, I feel, is the reason why I'm not as successful as I could be, and the reason that you're not as well. Now, I guess you could correlate routines and consistency, but I go back to a book that I read maybe 2 months ago. It's The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy, and what he talks about is day in and day out, every single thing that you do over a period of time, building a routine, being consistent, is all compounded day in and day out, day after day. If you go to the gym every single day for 5 days, you're not going to see results. But if you go to the gym every single day for 3 months or 6 months, you're going to see those results. And obviously, the longer you go, the more consistent you stay, the better results are going to be seen. And that's kind of the exact same thing that I'm going to right now, talking about that routine, talking about that consistency. I highly suggest you go over to Amazon and check out The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. It'll be in the description down below. Click on it, read it, because it's a fantastic book. Now, I know exactly what I want, and every day I go to make a schedule, I put what my goals are into my calendar. So every single day that I'm doing what I do, they are all attached towards building that dream, building that goal. So today, I'm gonna share 3 tips and tricks that I do in my personal life to help you stay consistent or build that routine or whatever it is that you're trying to do. Now, understand that this is an everyday process, it's ongoing, and as we all are, this is a constant battle. So understand that what works for me might not work for you. But without further ado, let's talk about these 3 tips. Okay, so the number one thing that I would say in order to build consistency or build that routine is have a nightly plan session. And what I mean by that is every night before I go to bed, I use an app, and I'll link the app down below because I really enjoy it. But it's called Goals Wizard by Brian Tracy. And basically it's a very quick bullet journal with a fully built-in scheduling app. So it allows me to plan out my day in full, and then if I need to during the day, make little bullet journal points along the way. So every single night before I go to bed, I plan out my day so the entire next day I already know what I'm doing. So that way when I wake up, it's already straight to action, straight to work. I know what's going on and I just get it done. So I would highly suggest with using an app or using a bullet journal or something of the such to just organize your day, because when you wake up and you know exactly what is on your schedule, you don't have to worry about it. You can just wake up and get started immediately with the day and not have to worry about, oh, what am I gonna do today? You already know. So tip 1, get a good app, get a bullet journal, organize your day, plan it out. Number 2, writing down or typing, if you prefer, your goals every single day, at least twice a day. The first thing that I do when I wake up, say my prayers, I read my Bible app, I write down my goals. My goals are memorized. I have about 20 long-term and about 5 short-term. I write down the goals, I look at them, I study them, and then I meditate for 5 minutes on those goals to help my brain, my subconscious mind think about them when I'm not truly thinking about them. And then before I go to bed, the last thing that I do at night, before I say my prayers and I close my eyes, I write down my goals, I meditate for 5 minutes. It helps give you a clearer picture of what you're truly trying to accomplish. Tip number 2. So, this is actually the first time I've ever rode one of these scooters here in downtown Columbus. I've rode them before in LA on the beach. This ride wasn't quite as spectacular in the sense of views, let's call it, but still a great ride. $5 for 10 minutes to go like over a mile. So I got here at about way quicker than I would have if I walked. So that's a good thing. Tip number 3 that we're going to talk about is overall just having that routine. Now I know that I kind of talked about how routine and consistency is kind of coincide, and it is, but you must establish a routine in order to stay consistent. Now, it depends on how you think of this, because like I said, they kind of are the same thing. But in my eyes, having that routine, building it subconsciously in my mind to where when I wake up, I do the same thing, or to when I go to bed, I do the same thing. That routine, I already do it. So if I already do it, then it's already subconsciously gonna be in my mind, which means therefore I built a routine, which means because of that routine, I'm gonna stay consistent. That makes sense because that was a lot of time, but hopefully that made sense. If not, I don't know, figure it out, I guess. Now, you don't have to jump into this cold turkey per se. Like, you know how if you're smoking, a lot of people who are trying to quit just quit cold turkey. You don't have to do that. So find something that you're trying to build a routine or build consistent days with. When you find that thing, work on that one thing until you get to the point where you're consistent with it, and then build something else. Don't try and build 10 things at once, because it's not gonna happen. It's just like going to the gym. You can't, if you've never been to the gym before in your life, you can't just go 7 days a week for 4 hours a day. You're not in shape to do that. You might have to go 3 days a week for 20 minutes before you can finally eventually go 5 days a week for 20 minutes. And then from 5 days to say 7 days for an hour. Whatever it is, don't jump in all at once. Build up to the point that you're trying to get to. Once you then get to the point you're trying to get to, then work on something new.
Tonight, I'd lie for you, baby. Honestly,
So we're at the market, and if you followed me back in LA when Mitch and I went, we went to the market in downtown. However, this is a little bit different. Not as many people, not as busy, but relatively it's the same concept. It's right in the Arena District of Columbus. Gotta find something to eat. Haven't ate much today other than Panera. I just had those couple of bagels, but it's lunchtime. If you're ever in the Columbus area though, check out the North Market. It's kind of cool. It's got like it's got a big city vibe without actually being big city. You don't have tons of people crammed into one little area as you would in LA. The traffic isn't quite as bad. You still get the same amenities. Now, not saying that Columbus is LA, because it's not, and I'd still rather be in LA. But for living here, I gotta give it props. It's pretty cool. The question is now, what am I gonna eat? So, I'm not gonna eat here. It's just, honestly, I don't want to spend this much money. It's like it's lunchtime, and I already spent $6 on breakfast this morning, so I really don't want to spend more than like $5 to $6. But everything here is like above 10, and I don't want to spend that. If you remember the old days, I would spend without caring, but nowadays when I'm actually watching my money, after seeing how expensive racing is, I'd rather just not eat cheaper. Either way, quick little digital marketing update for you. So went to probably maybe 6 or 7 places so far today. That's obviously why I'm here today, up in Columbus that is, and no luck at all anywhere, like none. So I called a few places. I've got a bunch more emails to send out from a couple days ago that I went to, so I got to work on that yet. And I'm gonna eat, find somewhere to eat, not here, and then go continue on for the rest of the day, and hopefully we can get closer to possibly pulling another contract. I have a big meeting tomorrow. I think I told you guys in the last video that I did, I have a big meeting tomorrow with a high-end luxury apartment complex right here in Columbus, and obviously it's for digital and video marketing, obviously. And our meeting is at noon, so definitely going to be going to that, and hopefully we can close the deal. I got high hopes. She seems pretty confident. I still have yet to write my plan for what I'm going to say and how I can help them, but that shouldn't take too long, so I got to do that yet. Also, tomorrow after the meeting, I'm doing a car review, and we're doing a 2020 Audi R8, so I'm extremely excited for that. If you guys are interested in seeing a 2020 Audi R8, then hit the subscribe button so you guys can come back and watch. If you guys like digital marketing, if you guys like business, if you guys like racing and cars, that is what I do here. So without further ado, I'm gonna get off here. I'm gonna go get some food that I can actually want to pay for, and I will talk to you guys probably tomorrow. Either way, peace out, and remember, you create your own story.
just you and